What dream did you give up on? Becoming Spider-Man. Being a productive member of society. I'm just gonna keep watching Netflix on my couch with my dog until he dies and then I die. Or whichever comes first. Going to the Olympics. I was completely on track for the achievement. When I was 19, I'd won gold in the 50 meter, 100 meters, and 200 meters freestyle and butterfly events in 4 consecutive national swimming championships and set a national record. The record I'd broken was mine. I used to train, swimming and conditioning, twice a day. Before my classes at 5 AM and after them at 7 PM for 3 hours each. After my second record, I decided to take a break for 1 or 2 months before trying to hit the next level, as the last time I'd had any rest was years before. My coach strongly advised against it. In hindsight, I really should have listened to him. See? At the time, I was going through a shitty period with my now ex-girlfriend. After the pretty brutal breakup, I started hanging out with old friends, which led to me drinking and smoking. I never went back to my training. It pains me to think of what could have been, especially knowing that it was no one's fault but mine. For reasons which I now know were stupid and unworthy. And NBSP. Edit. You people are lovely. Thanks a lot for the kind words, everyone. Traveling to every country in the world. I don't have enough money and there are countries I don't wanna visit. L. How about every continent? The only real obstacle is getting to Antarctica. And I'm sure there are options for that. That would be great. Just fly to Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, South America. And I've heard you can take a cruise to Antarctica from Argentina. Hope you can travel to every continent. 2. Close bracket. People seem to think I'm funny. When I was a kid, adults laughed at me a lot. At that time I thought to myself, hey, I'd make a great comedian, and often dreamed of making the world smile and laugh. So over the years I tested my laugh factor. Turns out that my shitty home life and drug addicted family members are comedy gold. Who would have thought such a traumatic upbringing would make such good comedy? I gave up on my dream once I realized how depressing it actually was that people laughed at my miserable childhood because they thought I was making stuff up for the lols. Getting married. I'm going to become the crazy aunt to my siblings' kids if they ever have any instead. Or I'll become a dog lady. Crazy aunt dog lady here. I am 46. Unmarried and childless. If my 25-year-old self knew this would be my fate, I honestly would have jumped in front of a train. You know what though? I am happier than I have ever been in my life. Every day my co-workers talk about the mountains of bullshit involved in raising kids, and every day I thank the gods that I don't have to deal with any of that. Had I managed to breed, I think I would have been so miserable. Raising kids takes every scrap of patience, every second of free time, every cent you earn. It is the hardest thing people do. My sister knocks it out of the park. I would be a horrible mother, and I think the universe knew that. Freedom is so precious to me. I love that I can do whatever whenever and not have to consult with another person. Few women in my age group have that luxury. Maybe I'm just a selfish bitch. I do have a BF. He's done the whole marriage divorce thing and not interested in marching down the aisle again anytime soon. We love each other deeply. There is something so freeing about not being in that pressure cooker world of a 20-something. External pressures can be fatal to relationships. His kids are grown. No one is nagging us to get hitched. We both value space and adequate alone time, and it is magical. You need to seriously ask yourself, do you really want kids, or do you want them because society tells you that you should? Rebuilding an old muscle car. Let alone not having the space to do it. Or the tools. Or the money. Or the car. Just a dream of mine to do so. I feel the same about owning a British car. No, not rebuilding one. I mean just keeping the damn thing on the road. If you see any British car with Lucas Electrics not using their turn signals, blame the wiring, not the driver. Retiring in my 40s. As it turns out, Those are the years life becomes most expensive if you have a family. It's not an easy time to stop working. Then the economy tanks. Next thing I know I'm pushing 60 with no end in sight. As an early 20-something year old who is super conscious about my future, this is exactly what scares me about the future. Not to mention I haven't even got my shit together yet. Due to 2 career failures that set me back majorly. I still have time, but man, time really is flying past. Professional gaming. I was really good at League of Legends, but every attempt team I got into to get into bigger leagues always failed out for some reason or another, or was never able to quite win the games we needed to. Ended up eventually tossing the idea, as I am 24 now and am getting too old for that kind of thing. I wanted a handful of friends such that we were all each other's closest friends, who made each other a priority in one another's lives so that we could see each other on a regular basis. Whether it was just 2 of us meeting up for coffee before work or something more adventurous with everyone and our families. Yikes, this one hit home. Everyone told me I would make all my lasting friendships in college. But it's my senior year and I haven't made any new friends since I started. Just grew apart from most of my existing friends along the way. Movie TV producer was the long-term goal. Just working in the industry was my main goal at the time. Majored in film. Did multiple unpaid internships. A handful of day gigs at various positions. And then I simply could not land a thing. I sent out more resumes than I can count and couldn't even get a call or email back. I spent over a year unemployed until I got a shitty job doing something completely unrelated. Freelance work proved unreliable and staff positions are like unicorns. Owning a home. I live in constant dread that I might lose my job and remain unemployable for years. Or if I buy a house it'll always be underwater. Or if I buy a cheap house somewhere it will turn into a bad neighborhood and lose its value. Here's the thing with houses. If you lose your job you can sell your house if you have a reasonably healthy real estate market. Yeah. You might lose some money, but if it's your dream to own a house, it's not as risky as you think, assuming you qualify from a financial perspective. Helping exploited children and digital forensics. When I was 19 I got blacklisted from every 3-letter agency because I failed a polygraph test that was needed to confirm my conditional internship offer with the CIA. Worst part? The lie detector picked up a false positive. I told the truth the whole time. There's a reason why lie detector tests are almost always not admissible in court. They're full of shit. Absolutely. Pretty sure the false positive false negative statistics repeatedly prove that it's slightly better than a coin toss. Astrophysics. Despite initially testing into it around age 12, I could never figure out pre-calc. And now my life is on a very different trajectory that I'm honestly quite happy with. It's just stars. Man. They're so f***ing beautiful and they just feel like home, and even though I know we couldn't achieve visiting one in my lifetime, I would have given damn near anything to be a cog in the wheel that got us there one day. I feel the same way about space and I have such a fascination for it. Honestly, I wish I could have been a pioneer for the next step in humanity's journey by being involved in anything space related. I'm a politics major and I'm so happy with my degree choice as I'm passionate about it, but I'll look up at the stars and sometimes wonder about what's out there for us. Being an engineer. I thought I wanted to be one since middle school. Got suspended my first year of engineering school for my grades. Realized I wasn't truly passionate for engineering and it was pushed on me by adults just cause I was good at math. I'm now in business school and I'm tremendously more happy. I used to think that I would always become an engineer of some sort because I was good at math and that's what was expected of me. I realized I didn't care during my 3rd year of university. Failed almost all of my classes and tried to kill myself. I dropped out and now I'm a cook making slightly more than minimum wage. It's weird being in charge of people the same age or older than me. And some of them used to be my classmates. Even though I had given up on something I had worked towards my entire life, I have never been happier than I am now. It wasn't really even my dream to begin with. Just something my parents expected of me. I felt horrible at first. But I found solace in a quote from RWBY. Your dreams have become my burden. I will find my own liberation. I'm glad you're happy now too.